Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Welcome to the evening segment here. I'm hoping, they say this morning my brother was going to be on with me, my co-host, my co-host. But anyway, we're going to be reviewing some more of the news that I spoke about this morning. And I think there might be some other bits and pieces that we didn't catch up on that we need to catch up on this evening segment. I hope you enjoy the Voice of Reason segment, my brother's segment. But anyway, see, my phone is ringing off the buzzer. But anyway, I shall see you guys on the other side of this music intro. Yes, welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yeah, it's the evening segment. I'm waiting for my brother, the co-host of Cannon Fodder TV. Where are you? Where art thou, your brother? Anyway, I can do the show on my own. I don't need my brother, do I? No, I don't. Anyway, those of you just logging on, locking on, and tuning in and not tuning out, hopefully make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV. Hit the bell notification button so you can see all the latest news right here on the channel. That's what I've got to say, guys. This morning's segment was really, really good. Again, I always like debating, answering questions in the live chat. My good friend Ingas, he just won't let go of that bone, doesn't it? He just wants Arteta out, but it's okay. It's his opinion, which is fine. And I saw the analytics, the statistics. Over 1,000 of you and rising as well tuned in for the morning segment. So thank you so very much to each and every one of you there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we've got that out of the way. So let's get into the bare bones of the news of today. Yeah. First bit of news we spoke about this morning was about Massimiliano Allegri. It says that Allegri has already revealed when he could replace Mikel Arteta as manager. No, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. Listen to the report. Matt Allegri has already revealed when he plans to make a return to management following a full season away from football after leaving his post at Juventus. Allegri has previously revealed when he plans to return to management amid talks of him replacing Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. Despite guiding the Gunners to success in the FA Cup final and, of course, the Community Shield, there are rumours that the Spanish tactician is under pressure. Well, he is under pressure. Defeating a North London derby against Spurs on Sunday afternoon was Arsenal's from the sixth defeat from the opening 11 Premier League games, a sequence which has left Arsenal 7 points above the relegation zone. Whoops. Can you hear me, people? I hope you can hear me. Yeah, so just because, I repeat, just because he's back, he's wanting to come back from his hiatus, like his time away, doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to come to Arsenal. It doesn't. A lot of people are going to jump on the bandwagon and say, yeah, we're going to have him. We're going to have him. Yeah. It doesn't mean that. It just means that he wants to come back into management. That's what it means. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to open a can of worms for a lot of people to say, yeah, that means he's going to come. Doesn't mean that he's coming to Arsenal. Anyway, what was the other bit of news? The other bit of news I covered this morning. Oh dear, I forgot what was the other bit of news we spoke about. Yes. The other bit of news was the Wonder Kids. Martinelli was in action last night in the under 21s, playing against AFC Wimbledon. Good to see him back playing against Socrates and Saliba. Yes, and Aziz. And unfortunately, we lost 3-0, and there were 2 players sent off, one of which was William Saliba. Yeah, real unfortunate. So that was the news of actually this morning. I don't remember I spoke about anything else. Uh, yeah, I just really happy to see that this chap has come back. I did put a poll out. Would you like to see Martinelli play in the first squad or the first team? For me, no. I wouldn't want to see Martinelli come back too soon. No way. What do you think, guys? I think I put a poll out. I did put a poll out, and I can't remember. We'll have to check out the poll and see. I think a lot of you, actually, it was quite high. It was quite high. I think it was like 87% of you so far voted that you want to see Martinelli come back. Well, he's coming back, but when? So yeah, definitely that was the news for today. Let me go into the live chat for the first time. I've got one of my moderators, Monty. Monty, I hope you are well. Thank you for coming and moderating today. Some of you have been wondering, where's David? Well, David actually is undertake more work, which means he has less time for coming and moderating on Cannon Fodder. I said there are more important things than podcasting, man. Yeah, family, health, and work. We're not Amazon Prime. We're not yet, anyway. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here, people. And Mr. 999. Hey, Dad. Are you sure you're not older than me, Mr. 999? That's it, Joker. Joker. Good evening, Alex and Monty. I'm not Arteta out, but after the Olympiacos game, I was definitely Arteta. I was definitely Arteta. Hasn't got what it takes to be here. You're talking about the Olympiacos look, innit? I've got nothing to say. Nothing to say. Hello, Alex, and good evening to you, Santiago. Good evening to you. Buenas noches. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? But who else needs a manager besides United? Well, it's 3-0 in a kids' match with experienced defender, the next Varane and Martin. Listen, forget about a defeat. The most important thing is that Martinez didn't sustain any injuries. Saliba didn't sustain any injuries. Socrates, who you never know, he might come back in the Premier League, did not sustain any injuries. There were no injuries sustained by any of the Arsenal players. There was just like 2 red cards. Akinola, I believe, was the other player that got sent off. But that's the most important thing. Game time, be match fit. But I don't want to see him play Martinez this side of 2020. It'll be too soon for him. Okay, so I'm with you. Let Martin enjoy till Christmas. Yeah, it'll be too soon for this youngster. What kind of dad doesn't know his son's? So it happens you got so many children. No. Dearie me, you joker. Yeah, we've just been talking about this morning's news in regards to Max Allegri. Yeah, just because he's saying he wants to come back into management, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to come and manage Arsenal. I put it out there this morning, and I'm putting it out there again. All right. My brother was supposed to come to the show. I don't know what happened to him. Don't know what happened to him. I was hoping that he can come and give us some of his opinions about what's happening at Arsenal. Well, we all know what's happening at Arsenal, don't we? Anyway, just thinking there was probably another bit of news as well. Yes, there's not been any more updates that I have seen anyway in regards to Thomas Partey. Yeah, nothing at all. I can't see on Arsenal's website, so we have to wait and see for that. As soon as I get something, I would definitely keep you guys or get you guys back into the loop and let you know what's going on with Thomas Partey. I'm just fearing the worst. I am just thinking he's going to be out. You know, you won't see him again this side of 2020. That's my feeling. Okay. I feel like Saliba is purposely getting sent off and playing poorly. Maybe it's him saying he's 100% wants out. Really? You think so? Really? Guys, just bear me a second. My brother's just saying that he's waiting to be invited. Well, I sent him the invite. Yeah, Mr. 99, you reckon that he's doing it on purpose? I don't know, man. If he is, that would be so unprofessional of him. Really, so unprofessional. Yeah, guys, just bear me a second. I know my brother's saying, "Oh, I'm waiting to be invited." Or I sent you the link, bro. What's going on with you? What's wrong with you, bro? Right, there he is. Yeah. I can see. Can you see me now?
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
I sent you the
I
link.
mean, I'm waiting. I must admit, my phone's been playing up. The Wi-Fi in the house has been playing up. I had to do some work, and I had to put it on one side. So apologies for the late arrival, but I have been waiting.
Okay.
So,
All right.
hey,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Good. We've just been going through the live chat, just talking about the morning live news. I spoke about Max Allegri, who used to
Mass
manage his
Allegri,
own.
is it?
Yeah. Max Allegri. Yeah. And people have said, "Oh, they're jumping on the bandwagon." They think, "Oh, now he wants to come back in the management." It means he's going to manage Arsenal. It doesn't mean that. It just means that he
No.
wants to come back into management. That's all it is. That's all
Yeah.
it is. And then we spoke about the under 21s game last night when we played against AFC Wimbledon. Good to see Martinelli come back with Socrates, Saliba. Well, you can see that they're starting lineup there. We lost 3-0. And
Yeah. Two
unfortunately,
cents off.
yeah, 2-7. Who is it? Mr. 999 has just said, where is it?
You his dad.
He's a cheeky so and so. He's a cheeky so and so. Now, he said about Saliba, he said, I feel that Saliba is purposely getting sent off and playing poorly. Maybe it's him saying 100% he wants out in January.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one to substantiate, because if he is not confident, surely the coaching team would have picked that up. And if there's other extenuating circumstances, because he has suffered the bereavement and everything else as well, hasn't he? So it's a hard one to call.
But I wouldn't say he's playing purposely bad. Playing purposely bad to get out in January? I can't see it myself. I can't see it myself.
Maybe we should just put him in the first team to see how he plays then.
Well, yeah, he needs to be registered first, doesn't he? Because
Yeah,
Arteta didn't register him for neither the Europa League or the Premier League squads.
very poor management.
All right, let's just see what else. What about the news about our number 10 wanting to leave in January? Oh, God, yeah. Listen, 999, you would know. You've been following us long enough to know that we don't want to donate any more time talking about our number 10. And I did see the news. I haven't gone to great depth, but if it is true that he'll be out in January, then so be it. But yeah, I'm not going to entertain talking about our number 10 unless you want to, Ralph.
Not really. I would offer to drive him. I would, wherever he wanted to go. And I really don't believe in those kind of like rumors anyway. I'd much rather, if it was to happen, if he was to go out in January, brilliant. But I can't see it at this moment in time. I think he's enjoying just liming, as they say. I think he's just staying where he is.
Yeah, and like sending cryptic messages on his social media about
Mm.
Arsenal and Arteta. Who else do we have here? Well, he goes on to say yes because he was signed thinking it'd be such a big deal, and but now he's just been completely ignored. I'd really, I'd do it if it were me. I don't know if I would do that, to be honest. I'm a paid employee to do a job. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can actually see, all these excuses about him not being ready, and for me, it's just a smokescreen. We should be playing Saliba alongside, or he should be an option in the Premier League.
Mm.
My back four, I said, Ralph, is Tierney, Suarez, and centre backs would be Gabriel paired with Holding or Gabriel paired with Saliba. That would be my back four, but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Manav says, I feel that Ainsley Maitland-Niles should be getting more game time. He gave match-winning performances in the FA Cup semi-finals and finals and Community Shield. What do you think, Ralph?
No, I totally agree. I don't understand why you have a talented player who didn't want to play right back. He did it begrudgingly. Then when you put him in his centre, he played well. Played well in the FA Cup, Community Shield. He played in some important matches as well. And yet, we're not. I don't understand what the dynamic is. I don't know why we are so. It seems hell bent on keeping this guy, but not letting him flourish. I don't understand. You know, you either play him. He wanted to go last season, and I must admit, I didn't want him to go. I think there's quite a few Arsenal fans who didn't want him to go. But it seems now that might have been the best thing for him because he's not getting any game time here. And when he does get some game time, it's fits and squirts. It's not. It's not. He's better than that, and I am sure Arteta knows that. But why he's not playing him in, I don't get it. I'm not a coach. I'm just a fan from the sidelines. But to me, it does not make any sense.
Yeah, and he must be really well. I'm only talking on his behalf. He can talk for himself, but yeah, thinking if it were not for that derisory bid that Wolves put in, he would have not been an Arsenal player.
Yeah, he would have gone.
Yeah, Espirito Santos would have been utilising him to the best of his ability. And again, if you're not going to play him, why do you should let him go?
Yeah.
So Arteta's got a lot to learn, Ralph, man. A lot to learn. Here's one here for you, Ralph.
Okay. So my nephew 999 is
watch out, Ashley in the house. Say again, Ralph.
I just said he's continuing his comical start 999.
He's looking for a father figure. Ashley says, "Hey up, guys! Power to the people."
Indeed.
Alex, I understand, but this is a good thing. What is a good thing?
You've been
no, about Saliba. Monty, our moderator's in the house. Must be very frustrating times for you, Monty, not seeing an energy, not playing, man. Since he's come back from being isolation, international duty, he's not featured. Has he? No, he hasn't. Has he played? No, he hasn't.
No, he played played last week, didn't he? Rapid Vienna.
Oh, this is such a long time ago, man. Dear me. Let's all wind up Alex and ask a question about our Ashley D. Go for it. I'll just put you on time out, man. Remember, I am the Matrix. I'll put you in time out, mate. I'm joking. He must feel disrespected, even a little. I mean, everyone was gassing him up just to be completely left out for no reason. That's all I have left to say about Saliba. I've got to completely agree with you. And he's taller than Gabriel. What is it? What is it with Mikel Arteta? And this is why I say, Ralph, that when you've got a new manager who comes in, the dynamics changes in the squad there. The new manager will obviously, naturally, fancy certain players, and the other players he's not going to fancy. And that's what's happening with Saliba and Mikel Arteta. Arteta just doesn't rate him. Look at that. Terrible.
Well, you could have a look at, for example, looking at our North London neighbours. I'm not on about them down the road. I'm on about Chelsea. Chelsea have gone through, about 5 or 6 managers during the last 5 years, 6 years. Other than having Mourinho, they had Conte. They had I'm trying to remember one of the guys who used to play for him. He won them the Champions League, and they sacked him the following season. And you had Ranieri as well,
Yeah.
Sarri, Conte.
Yeah.
They've all like won the Premiership or an FA Cup, but they're just, it's a revolving door at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Now, do you really want that for Arsenal? You know, we're on to our after Wenger, we're on to like our third, well, we had a caretaker coach in Lumberg. But we had Unai Emery. And like I said before, and I put my hand up, I was one of those that said, no, I don't think tactically he was very sound. He's not taken us to the next level. All of a sudden, from the next level, which was like we were fifth, and the players down tools at that final against Chelsea, we're now 10 places plus below that. So you know what? Another thing I've been hearing a lot of people saying about getting Arteta out. I know that this guy is he's not a manager. He's a manager in training, and it is rather insulting by the board to take this guy in. Now he's in. We've got to support him because he has inherited a team that feel that they're entitled to be playing where they're playing.
Mm.
Yeah. There's no manager going and cracking the whip, saying, right, as far as I'm concerned, as you alluded earlier, as far as I'm concerned, you're not good enough. You're okay. You're on borrowed time. He's trying to galvanize them, and for whatever reasons that we are not clear about, we're not going to know. We're not the fly on the wall. But the results are showing us that there's a lot more depth of reason why these players are not good enough. Simply not good enough.
Then why does he continue with the likes of Xhaka, the likes of
Well, like
Bellerin?
I said, it must be something in the contract. It must be something that I thought Arteta was his own man. You know, when he came in, we was thinking, I'll call him like Captain Black because he doesn't look like Captain Black. You know, he looks very serious. But there must be something in the contract where these players got to play a certain amount of time, regardless of the result. And to me, that's not. I'm old school. If you're not playing good enough, then you're not good enough until you either improve or until the manager says, look, you know what, son, you're not good enough. We've got you on the transfer, or we put you out to loan. It depends how much the club is invested into those players. But we've seen it for 5 seasons now. Xhaka is not good enough. Chambers is coming back, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. Yeah. We've got David Luiz. We've become a feeding club for the most successful clubs, and we are a retirement home for players who want to come to our club. Where is the motivation and the progression of wanting to go forward? We've got a bunch of youngsters that we've put out, or we're not including them into the team, or we're doing it rather gradually, and then we put them under pressure to perform at a time when really they should be growing with the experienced players.
Ralph, what should we do short term? What should we do to change things at Arsenal? I had this question thrown at me this morning, and I said, short term, bench the players, get rid of the players who are not going to take us to that level, ship in some of the youngsters. I wouldn't want to see any new players come to Arsenal in January transfer. Right. I want to see a lot of players gone. And then someone asked me, what would we need to do to get KSC out? Not KFC, KSE.
We have advertising as well.
And I said that for starters, don't buy any more merchandise. Don't buy merchandise. You know, there's a third or fourth kit. Stop buying it. Period. And then maybe if you want to, you can demonstrate. But I'm not advocating for people to go out on the streets and demonstrate. But for starters, you can stop buying the merchandise. But what do you think that the fans, or do you think we should be doing to get KSC out?
Okay. I saw your morning segment, and I'm trying to think of the not the person who put this comment in. They said that how the fans of now have not seen really hard times. We're experiencing it at this moment in time,
Yeah,
but they don't remember that before 1971 that we didn't win a championship for about 18 years.
that was
And
gone
then
with
there
yellow
was
ribbons. Yeah,
Bruce
yeah, I
Rioch,
said that.
when
Yeah,
Bruce Rioch came in, and Wrighty was literally on the verge of leaving. Now, if social media was around at that period in time, the place would have blown up. The place would have blown up. So I think, in a sense, we've seen the transference of fan power to, it seems now, player power. So in the short term, I would pretty much what you said first is I wouldn't want to play any of the players who feel that they're entitled to play. I wouldn't play Xhaka anymore. I would bench Abba. I would bench Lacazette. I would do my best to get rid of our number 10, as it were. I would invest in the youngsters because the youngsters are hungry and they're seeing that the senior players are not performing. Now, if you still keep on using the senior players and they're not performing, we are going to drop further down. And you know what? I know that we don't have a divine right to stay in this Premiership. I hate it if we did drop down and be relegated. Maybe that's the kind of wake up call that the board may consider, because it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do in January. If they don't back the manager in January, then that's it. As far as I'm concerned, that's it. We're not gonna progress. If we stay in the Premiership, even I think what may be a dangerous tactic, if this is true, is if Arteta is thinking about getting through the back door by winning the Europa. There are far more stronger together teams in the Europa, and we're not going to progress any further in our current form. Bottom line. So for me, if people want to protest, you can do that. I don't think that's the way around it. I think you have to have them in the pocket. You don't buy. I haven't bought a top since God knows how long now. But I've got.
I'm buying them for you. That's why.
Sorry? Say that
again. Daddy.
but seriously, you could hurt them in the pocket if you wish. You can't attend. I think, in a sense, coronavirus has done that. So maybe they're going to start looking at the ways of trying to listen. This platform, there must be about 100 or 200 odd platforms just on this alone, on this club. Yeah, there's some maybe more commercial, and there may be some that's a bit more under the radar. But as long as we're here, as long as we support the club, because it's the players that come and go. So there's a lot to be done, but I think the first and foremost part is trying to influence the manager to not play people who are not performing. That is clear. It's as clear as night and day. And if he's going to keep on choosing them, then it must be contractual. It must be the fact that the board's putting pressure on him. It must be the fact that there's financial benefits or whatever it is that they're benefiting, but us as fans are not benefiting. It's going to end in the worst kind of way. But first and foremost, it's the responsibility of the players. Do the players really care? You just got to see that within the last 13 matches, what's happened so far. That says it for itself.
You know what? I think Mikel Arteta made a run from his own back, Ralph. The first press conference that he did, when he said, listen, these players, what they did like 2 weeks ago, what they did 2 seasons ago, doesn't matter to me. For me, they all start with a clean slate. You can't do that. And now it's being played out now. It's being played out. As a manager, like I said this morning, Ralph, across the water, you can see these players were disrespectful towards Arsene Wenger towards the end of his reign. They were disrespectful and down tools under Unai Emery. What makes you think they're going to do anything different when you come and manage them. They clearly show what kind of people and what kind of players that they are. They don't deserve to wear the red and white of Arsenal, Ralph. Period. George Graham, when he came in, I know you said to me today you've been watching the 89 documentary. If he saw these players now, he would have gotten rid of the majority of these players, Ralph. The majority. I mean, I think he maybe got rid of maybe 5 or 6 players when he came in Arsenal.
Yeah.
But the majority, I'm sure, 70 or 80% of the squad members he would have gotten rid of because he would have seen what they were up to. It doesn't take a wizard to see, what these players are like. And yet Mikel Arteta is still trying to flog a dead horse, Ralph. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, just to come in on that part alone. So you've got a young manager in training. You've got a young manager who's he's feeling the heat now. This is the time now where you have to show up. And if your remit is to give, I think every manager comes into a club has that kind of remit. But I think where he went wrong was admitting it publicly. He should have just kept it to himself. He just said, right, you know what, I'm coming to his club. I've heard all this stuff going on. Let me see it for myself. And then, because you've got to have a bit of wiggle room, I will choose my 11. And if anybody comes and knocks on my door saying how they want a chance, then I could say to him, personally, the reason why I'm not choosing you is because X, Y, Z. And then it's up to that player to do one or two things. He'll either stay at the club because he wants to prove the manager wrong, or he'll put a transfer bid and make a whole lot of noise and say, look, it's time for me to leave. Or he gets his agent to do it as Pogba managed to do at Man United. So those are the ways round what a manager should be doing, because he's got a lot of things to consider. He's got pressure from the board, he's got pressure from his players, and he's got pressure from the fans. And the last thing you want is to have 3 daggers coming at you, and you've got no wiggle room. So now he's made that rod. I think he has to do a bit of backtracking, and he has to come back now and think, well, okay, I've put you guys in. I've put my trust in you, and you failed me. So now I'm going to drag in some of the youngsters, and I'm going to tell the youngsters that they're coming in at a time where we have to turn the page, because you've seen the senior players and they're not doing it. You are the future, but it's going to be on results. If you're consistent, you're in the team. And let me deal with the egos of the experienced players, because it's got to burn them. If they're professional, it's got to burn them. If they're professional, but it doesn't burn them, then it's made my decision easier for me to get them out, because they don't have the heart for it.
Right. Do you think maybe Arteta is a bit too pally-pally with some of the players?
Yeah. Well, take for example, when Abba was and ahhing about signing the contract. And when we won the FA Cup, the interviewer asked Arteta if Abba signed, and he said, "Oh, I'm sure that he will sign. I'm confident he will sign." And I sat there thinking, that's not really what you should be saying. You should just have to say, well, negotiations are still ongoing, because that segment alone felt as if you're putting all your eggs on one basket on him. Now look what's happened. He's not scoring. Now you can put him in the centre. We called for him to be put in the centre, but if you put him in the centre and you've got no one in midfield to support it, to let the pass to him, then it falls back on your tactics. So tactically speaking, he's been a bit naive. Managerial speaking, he's put that rod and he's put all his eggs onto 1 or 2 players who have not turned up. Lacazette was free scoring for about 3 games, and then he dropped him. So of course that's going to affect his confidence. And now he's come back scoring a massive goal against Rapid Vienna. And remember last week, guys, I said, okay, we're here now, but let's not get too gassed, because it is Rapid Vienna. Let's see what we're going to do against Tottenham. And that's a word I don't like using too often. But did anyone pick up the ball from outside the box and have a shot on goal?
No.
Did anyone run at Tottenham? Did anyone put a dig in against Song and Kane? Everybody just backed off, and then you had Partey, who we prayed for to play, but the guy was he must have been assessed the same assessor who assessed David Luiz, because to me that is negligence, and I would have strong words with my medical staff.
But it was a gamble. They took the gamble, and even then, I saw someone sent me a little snippet of what happened, the instant leading up, and you can see the moment we started that attack, that's the moment he walked off, and it's like Arteta didn't realize that Partey was like near him, and then when they you could see like they were on the attack, he was pushing back Partey, and Partey maybe trotted like 5 or 6 steps, and they said, nah, Gaff, I'm injured. But I do wonder about his inexperience, Ralph. You saw what happened with the cut heads with David Luiz and Jimenez. David Luiz continued playing. He continued playing. I mean, I'm thinking, Arteta, you're really showing your inexperience now. That Thomas Partey, and now Thomas Partey. I mean, I don't have any updates in regards to Thomas Partey, but I'm fearing that the guy is going to be out for the whole of December and for the beginning of January. We've just seen, Martinelli come back. So as one goes out, another one comes in, and vice versa. But apart from choosing players who have failed under 2 previous regimes, and the situation with the players who are injured, rushing back one, and for me, Ralph, if he falls on his sword, then so be it. But I'm not going to go on the bandwagon of Arteta out. He's inexperienced. I think for the board, he was a cheaper option. And now it's being played out now, isn't it? It's being played out now.
If you remember, when I spoke to you, because I saw the highlights, and I said to you, Alex, you didn't see like Arteta was pushing back Partey to go on the pitch. And you thought I was joking, but I had to relook at it again. How it was led? It was led because Bellerin was meant to put the ball for Aubameyang to score, and he put it right behind him. He put it behind him by about 2 feet, and that's how comes Tottenham broke. But meanwhile, Partey, I mean, I suppose you've got to have a bit of nous as well. He could have gone down, but because we was attacking, the referee don't really care. Arteta is on the sideline. He's the closest person to Partey. That's the reason why when you're on the sidelines, you see everything. I have to keep going back to rugby. In rugby, you've got your almost in the stand, so to speak. So you can have you've got more of an overview of the way the play is being played out. But you've got your coaching team on the sidelines as well. So if someone is injured, that's their job, and they relay that back to you, and you can see the shape of your team to see where the deficiency is. But because you're on ground level, as we all are, and you're looking at the play. So that's the reason why he missed Partey. Partey was the closest man to him, and then when he saw him going down, he thought, "Hang on a minute now, why are you coming off? You can't come off. We're attacking." By that time, they already were 3/4 of the pitch up. So he's trying to push him back on. It wouldn't have mattered if he pushed him back on.
But Ralph, anyway, even if Partey had gone down, it's not down to the referee to stop the game, and it's not down to the players. It's down to the discretion of the opposing players if they want to kick the ball out. The only time the referee should blow up and will blow up if there's been like a head injury.
Yeah.
North London derby, Arsenal. If they were in the same position, they wouldn't have stopped play, Ralph.
No, I wouldn't have stopped
play. So yeah. Ralph,
it's a gamble that we gambled Partey to come on, and we failed. Simple as.
Let me go to the live chat because I can see there's just been a bunch of people just. Yeah, let's see. Colin Young says, "Hello, that's a good show earlier, Ralph." Well, Ralph wasn't with me in the earlier show.
But I take it.
Nah, I'll take it back, man. As in Wenger, Emery, and now Arteta, no matter how bad you are, you will always be picked That is true, actually. You know, I think as well under Arsene Wenger, he always stuck with the players, didn't he, Ralph? Always stuck the players, man.
He put his faith in the players who didn't return the respect. So he fell on his swords.
Monty says Saliba, we loaned him back to the club we brought him from because he wasn't ready. He finally comes this season and Arteta says he doesn't look ready. Then he doesn't even get registered. It's just a catalogue of really unprofessionalism.
Yeah.
Unprofessionalism.
Can't add any more to that.
Yeah, I'd usually be ranting with paragraphs, but my arms are broken. Consider yourself lucky. Phew, thank God for that.
Funny.
Dear, who else do we have here? Arteta does seem to have a lot of personality clashes. Thoughts? Well, he clashed with your favourite player, Ralph, Guendouzi. On how many occasions?
But to be fair, you got to have a clash of personalities because it's personalities, it's people. At the end of the day, it's people. You want to get the best out of them. If you see their deficiencies, you do one or two things. You can either lessen their deficiencies to become better, or you increase the deficiencies to get them out. So there's always going to be a clash of personalities. But what there seems to be a lack of, there seems to be a blurring of lines. You're the manager, and you're the player, and it's the lines of demarcation seems to be becoming more equal rather than distinct. There's a saying Brian Clough once said. I'm maybe showing my age a little bit. Brian Clough said that how often he would get players come into his office and they're asking why they haven't been picked. And he said, okay, tell me your reasons, and then I'll tell you my reasons. And then when we both come to the end of our conversation, you find out that I'm right. That's Brian Clough. He's the manager. So it didn't matter what you thought. He's the boss. So he's the one who's meant to say, I put you here, here, and here, and you play. If you don't play, or if you don't show me that you're capable of playing, then I've got somebody else who can take your spot.
Yeah. And that is the problem right here and right now. That the power is not being generated from the manager's office. The power has been generated amongst the players. Yeah, you give away the power. You say, you know what? Doesn't matter what these players did 2 seasons ago. I give them a clean slate. You've made a rod off your own back, and like maybe he probably is a bit too pally with the players as well. But Guendouzi, I wouldn't like him to come back unless he can.
I know you said. Sorry to jump in. I know you say you won't want Guendouzi to come back. I know he's out on loan as well. I think that it's a part of being a player. It's about being it's about being humility as well. Showing a bit of humility. You know, players. James Rowe brought this up really well. He said how players are in for a very short amount of time at a particular club, and the way that the club shows their professionalism is by showing lines of respect. And, you know, you've earned your spot. Great. The next thing for you to do now is perform. You're performing for pride, self-pride, but also the fact that the club has invested a lot of time and money and everything into you. And you need to repay that back. And some of these players don't have the humility to say, you know what? I've been at this club for X amount of time. It's time for me to give something back to the fans because the fans are suffering. We can see the fans are suffering. Let me give something back to my manager who's put me in this position to play. And I haven't given anything. I haven't given my 100%. So some of these players lack a lot of humility. That's what I feel. And the likes of Guendouzi, he's a youngster. Yeah, he mouthed off. Maybe it could be the making of him. We don't know. We don't have that control. We just hope that when the players do come in and they understand what it means to be a football player in this time, that they may take something away from them to understand that actually it's a very, very honoured position to play for a club like Arsenal. and then hopefully they'll give us something back in return.
Do you know why I wouldn't want him back right about now? Because he would be an easy target. Look what happened to Pepe. Look what happened to Pepe. He fell for the trick. And if I'm a defender, I'm looking at Guendouzi, I will try anything to get an advantage. So I'll be picking at him, I'll be talking about him, about his mom, maybe give him a little dig to get a reaction. And right about now, we can't afford to have players like that, Ralph.
Yeah, but Alex, at the same time, at the same time, that's what football is about. That's why you when you're a manager, that's why when you're a manager, you've got your team, your specialist team, your coaching team. You have, for example, if we had a team right now, I would have Terry in my team, because he's the guy with the dark arts, and he would teach the youngsters and say, you know what, this guy, he's a right footer, put him on his left. If you pull his shirt a little bit, give him a little dig or something, show him that you're there. And these kind of like nous, that kind of like tactical nous, it may be the dirty part of it, but it's also the part of you understanding that you want to be the main man on that pitch. And when there's a collective amount of you, you all got each other's back, and you all know how you all play. We all talk about there's a lack of cohesiveness in the team. If I know I can put my trust in you, and you return your trust back in me, it makes the team feel more confident. And then when the team's confident, the manager feels that his tactics will be laid out, and then it's the opposition who's got to think about us. We're not thinking about us all the time. Let the opposition do that. But so far, there's lack of cohesiveness. So everyone's all looking at each other to see what's going on. That's why there's no togetherness at this moment in time.
Yeah, so look, like I said, I get the analogy about someone turning up at a Hibernian station. I don't know whether it's like all of us say, "Oi, I need like 10 players to play this match. Do you fancy a game?" So like all these individuals have just managed to come together and play the game, and that's what I see. Arsenal are 11 individuals, Ralph.
Yeah, they
don't play like a team. They don't play like a team. So I better get back into the live chat. The comments are just mounting up, man. Connor Young, welcome, bro. Manson Madal says, Alex, I think we are crying out for a creative player, but we can use Pepe, and we as fans criticize him, but I see he is not given enough playing time. You can see how confident he is in the Europa League. Yeah. Anything is worth a try, and that's the problem with Mikel Arteta, that he's doing the same thing, choosing the same players, hoping for a different outcome. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He has to do something different to try and get a different outcome. I always say about making a cake with these same ingredients. The cake is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, and you use the same ingredients. How you expect to get a different taste? You've got to change the ingredients. And that's, Mikel Arteta, I'm going to say again, God forbid that he was to get sacked. Again, I'm not Arteta out, but he's got to smell the coffee. Do something different. Change different, use different players. You've got alternatives there. Rather than playing, a Xhaka, play Miguel Aziz or play Emma Smith-Rowe, or better still, play Willock. You've seen how William is playing on the wing. Stop playing him. Play Reece Nelson. You see how Auba's playing. You see how Lacazette's playing. Play Nketiah, because for me, Nketiah hasn't had a good run in the first spot. Bellingham could be an alternative. If you don't play him, you just don't know. And that's what's frustrating about Mikel Arteta, that he's playing the same players and hoping and praying for a different outcome. It's not happening, Mikel Arteta. So you need to wake up and smell the coffee.
Alex,
go.
How about if we send tonight's segment to Arsenal FC? Attention, Arteta, and see what happens there. Do you reckon that we might get much of a response? Or
hey, but did you not see my live show on Monday? Was it Monday or was it this morning? I was saying, guys, I'm going to go and manage Arsenal. Who's in with me? Who's in my coaching staff? And someone came up with Alex. I don't want to be part of your coaching staff, but I don't mind being your cone man. You know when you haven't got the person to point out the cones? I was thinking, I don't need a person for that. And then somebody said that there will be the throwing coach. Somebody can teach was thinking, right, okay, I need that. I'll tell you what, Ralph. You know, if Dad was alive now, oh my
Oh
goodness,
my
man,
God.
the
He would, the
the
amount of,
camera would be flying all over the room, man.
yeah, the amount
God.
of times hand hit the ceiling, he said to us, well, you said it before, and I have to echo it. Our dad would say, you know what? I want to have a football team, you know, because that player be out, that player be out, that player be out, that player be out. If you half a team turn up every week because they'd be afraid of me. And he's right. He's right.
I
Oh,
wouldn't have a
geez.
team. Nobody would want to play for me, man, because they would know what I'd give them. You don't
It'd be
perform,
like
you're
this.
out.
Right?
Yeah.
This is Shaka. This is Shaka. Agent, I need to come out of this club because Mike is the manager and he's good enough.
Ralph, who needs to leave this club by the start of next year, Ralph?
Okay. Yeah, number 10, Chambers, Bellerin, Xhaka, who else? I had a whole list. I'd written it down. For one, Xhaka. I think Torreira is going to go. Well, he's not going.
Yeah.
Think he's going. He's gone. He's gone.
I can't believe you're struggling, Ralph, man, for names.
Kolasinac, Socrates. Boy, I'll keep the youngsters. Lacazette needs to go. Purely because it's just this is not enjoying this football. We should have got rid of him last season when we had the chance. Who else?
Come on, Ralph.
Sorry. I'll say it will be half the team. It'll be half the team. I'll keep holding.
David Luiz.
Oh God, yeah, David Luiz, Willian. I'll get rid of Willian. Yeah, I'll get rid of Willian. But we've got him. So who?
Bellerin.
I said Bellerin.
Bellerin. Okay.
I said Bellerin. I keep El Neni because just again pure on performance. Who would you get rid of?
Oof, how long have you got? Our number 10.
I said on number 10.
Yeah, but this is my list of players I would love to get rid of in a January transfer window. So our number 10, Mustafi, Kolasinac, Xhaka, Bellerin, Luiz, controversial, Aubameyang, Lacazette, I think maybe Chambers, possibly Chambers.
We've got Lacazette for a couple. We've got Lacazette for a couple of years. He's signed a 3-year deal, hasn't he? So
yeah, I'll still get rid of him. Socrates has to go. That's already 10. Any more than that? Yeah, I think that's it. That's my 10. At least 10 players. 10 players have got to go, man. I don't want to see any incomings in the transfer window. For me, it's all about getting rid of all the deadwoods. Let's reduce the wage bill and get rid of these players and reinvest that money there. Ralph, I'll go back into the live chat, man, because it's just mounting up, man, mounting up. Here's a good one, actually. Colin Young says, entitled players are killing us. Ashley, no doubt. That's why I've been screaming, free the children. Got to play the children. Monty Matata and decides to play Holding instead. Yeah, well, I've got no qualms with playing Holding, you know.
No. Yeah. He can be a big game defender. It's just the inconsistencies at times. I don't like when defenders back off. If you see, not if you see, just the first goal that them down the road scored was just a consistent people just backing off. Of course, you a player of Song's capability is going to have a free shot on goal if you're making the target a lot wider.
Yeah.
Instead of just narrowing down and bearing in on him, you're going backwards, so the goal becomes larger.
Listen, it's probably unfair, for me to make the comparison between Arsenal and Barcelona. And they lost 3-0 last night. When you see their fullbacks, when the ball goes down to the wing, they don't give the attacking players any time on the ball. They're straight in on them. But with us, we give them space. We go back right until they're in the penalty area. That in itself. Go on.
I don't understand that. Even Dan Hackney Marshes, you don't get any of the defenders doing that, because our way of playing, as though it may be basic 4-4-2, when a man comes to you, you attack. That's your line of defense, and it may be tricky. Well, if it's tricky, then you try and get him out wide, where he's going to do less damage. He has to earn that bit of space to whip the ball in. He has to earn it. If you're retreating all the time, he's not earning; he's gaining. So
you've just walked into a coaching job under me. I'll have you as my defensive coach. There you go. There's your job, mate.
Here he is.
If William is good enough, surely Saliba should be given a chance. I completely agree.
There we go.
Completely agree, man. Monty says that if they can't match an energy for commitment, then they should not be on the pitch. They shouldn't be on the pitch. Yeah. I completely agree. But even then, bad times before social media, we might have not won anything, but we were not as close as relegation as we are now. Things have to get a lot worse before they can get better, man, until people start to, wake up and smell the coffee. Might seem a bit unrealistic, but if we really want to start challenging again, we need Dybala, who I featured him.
Oh, wow.
Lamptey. I love Lamptey, man. Yeah, man. I did say I would love Max Aarons, but Lamptey is a wicked fullback, man.
We have a chance to get Max Aarons.
Sorry?
Wasn't there a chance for us to get Max Aarons?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance. It just, depends how motivated the board are to spend the money, spend the cash. Alan sent Maximan and Kante. Where are the people that used to moan about Wenger for not getting better than fourth place with this same rubbish boardroom?
Can I step in there? Step in there? Mm-hmm. Okay. The people or the fans who are moaning about Wenger being fourth place, I'm one of those, right? Because we're talking back, say about 9 years ago, 9 years ago, when Wenger used to use the excuse about, look, with top four is a position. At least we're qualifying for Champions League every season. My main argument is the fact that out of the four places, you would rather settle to be in the top four than to compete to be number one. It became a mentality that was drip fed to the players at that time, that top four is fine, is for where we are at this moment in time. And it's something that I didn't agree with. So I put my hand up and say that I was one of those fans who didn't like the fact that Arsene Wenger touted top four as a kind of, it's fine, we're okay. He in a sense, there's a dereliction of duty there. When you're a manager, your prime objective is to win, not to settle, to win. If the last two matches of the season you cannot get third, second, or first, then you go back and you relook at your plans. Okay, this is the same manager who said, you know what, we can go through the season unbeaten, and everybody laughed at him. Everybody laughed at him, and then it was down to the players to say, you know what, the manager's put this in our heads. Let's see if we can do it, and they achieved it. So when it came to the top four, and it wasn't the top four for one season, it became the top four for about 5, 6, 7 seasons.
Yeah.
So for me, that is unacceptable, because you are lowering the expectations of the players, and then the fans, and then the board. The board is happy because the money's coming in anyway, and hence the reason why they're not letting go of us, because they're happy just to be there. They're sifting their money from us to all the big stadiums that they've got in America, and hence the LA Rams are doing what they're doing. We need to have that focus back as a club, trying to achieve number one, not settling for number four, and that's what happened.
So the decay at the club started a long time. It's not only recent times now. Don Juan 1982 says we need to stop the jobs for the boys, and that is what's happening now. You look at even Raul Signelli for all his defects there. We've got Edu. It's not about we've got a scout out, in Asia, for example. Are there any players there that scouting network is finished, done and dusted? It's all about the jobs for the boys. Yeah, we've got a player here. Come, let's bring him in. What about this player? All right, bring him in. It's jobs for the boys, and it can't work that way, and it's proven not to work. We need a good scouting system, which was dismantled during the pandemic, the first lockdown. 55 members of staff. A lot of those people were this part of the scouting network, which is now done and dusted. It's now finished. We need to have competition between players, and we can't cause the same players because regardless the match and this is the problem. We've just been saying the same thing, Don Juan. Arteta, he's got alternatives. There are other players there that he can choose to play in those positions there. The moment you got players thinking they have a divine right, Ralph, to play in those positions there, it's over. It's over. Use the alternatives, Mikel Arteta. Anyone who knows Mikel Arteta, record this segment and send it to Arsenal. I'm just saying. Monty Matata, I was Wenger out because of the performances. I was perfectly fine with a consistent top four.
Well, and there you go. Consistent top four, but then remember, Alex, when we was to play Wembley at Bentham Court, right? This would be about 20 of us. Yeah, we partner up with whichever the best player was, right? And then when it got down to the final four, then you had to play, but you had to play it for yourself to win. And maybe on one or two occasions, it was just that one person who won it, right? Or we did our own penalty shootout, whatever. But from 4-1, yeah, there were three people, or there were three people, second, third, and fourth. Are you telling me that you was happy to be second, or you're happy to be third, or you're happy to be fourth?
Oh, never. Never, man.
That's not my DNA. My DNA is to win. And if I can't win today, then I have to replan to see if I can win tomorrow. And that, to me, that is the way that it should be. It should be the fact that you're aiming to be number one. Nobody remembers 2, 3, and 4. Okay, from a commercial point of view, you may get to go to the Champions League. But how many times were we in the Champions League, Alex? And we only went there in the final once.
Once, yeah.
How many times were we in the top 4?
I tell you what, we're not even ready now, Ralph. We're not ready now. No, I do get the feeling that Arteta is putting all his eggs in the Europa League basket, but that's going to be a disaster for us. I'm predicting, quarterfinals, and that is it. We're going to be out, and it might be a long time before we get back into Europa League, Ralph. Because
especially if you're a mid-table team.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Especially when you're mid-table.
Expensive players doesn't mean it's good. We need good scouting teams, and that's what I just said. The scouting system needs to come back, who can build a team from scratch. A lot of money wasted on non-performing players at Arsenal.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening at Arsenal. Buying a team is a crap shoot, though. 909. The idea of rebuilding on the youth is more sustainable. A more sustainable model. It's going to be a mixture of both. Colin Young,
Well,
that's
yeah,
what. Go on, Ralph.
yeah. I was going to say that if you look at as soon as Arsenal were in their pomp, you had Man City. Everybody used to like Man City, and then Man City had a whole heap of money from Saudi Arabia, and then also we all hate Man City because they got the money. But they lured players. Chelsea was the same as well. Chelsea was a nice little team that they were okay, but also as soon as the Russian billionaire came in, we all hated Chelsea because everybody invested that money, and then they will. That's what we always say. We say that these teams bought the Premiership because they had the money to do so. And Arsenal tried to do that, and look what happened. Look where it's taken us. We moved from Highbury to the Emirates, and from that period of time when we were meant to be competing with the big boys in Europe, we settled just to be in the top four, but we never got anywhere. Now look where we are now, 15th.
Yeah. Always get emotional when we talk about the old Highbury Stadium, man, because for me, we were sold a big lie there. Compete with the big European clubs, nah, didn't happen, never happened. Actually, look, quite topical. Conor Young, that's what we said about Chelsea, and now look at them. They're flying. Let's talk about Franz Kessie from AC Milan. I featured him a couple of times actually during the transfer window, so go back on the platform you see. I did a video on Frank Kessie. It will break. It always does. Got to free the children. Play the children. Guys, I'll just say, take a quick pause for the course and just say, those of you watching now, see there's like numbers just 130 odd, 40 odds watching concurrently. So make sure you subscribe to Canafoy TV and hit the bell notification button. I've got my brother, who's also the host of his own segment, The Voice of Reason, which came out earlier on today. Yeah, I had a look at it. Do you want to say anything, Ralph?
I think I said enough. Oh my God. The tough thing. I don't mind, as competitive as I am, I don't mind taking a defeat when we played our very best. When we play our very best, if it's the referee's fault, if it's something, anything like that, it's very hard to take. But it's very hard to take when your team don't turn up, and it's a North London derby.
Yeah.
And I've got two people, one who live in the house here, and one at work. And I haven't seen the one at work, but my store manager was like ripping into me. And he's an Aston Villa fan. So there we go. I walk around, I carry my shield, and I'll go out on my shield, but as being an Arsenal fan, it's not easy when your team don't perform and you feel yourself that you could do better.
Yeah,
that's the annoying fact.
But yeah, guys, make sure you look on again on the platform. Ralph's segment is The Voice of Reason. It's out now, and that's the artwork that we did for his segment. Very, very interesting, insightful segment there.
I'm looking at Arsenal. I wish I can actually get hold of him.
I'm saying nothing. Let's get back into live chat just for the last time before we wrap up this one. Let's look at this one here. Oops, let me remove this. Give me a second. Oh, where was I? Okay, here we go. Colin Young, the players I chose are positions we need extreme addressing in. And whenever I've seen them play, they all play the same play style as a team. Again, we've got a bunch of individuals who I kind of question, do they really like each other? Someone put on Twitter the other day that they're fed up of seeing like the guys training on the corner and laughing, hee hee hee, ha ha. No, save it, man. I'm not interested in that. Prove to me on the pitch. That's the most important thing. Freddie Ljungberg came out today saying that Nico, the thing is, he's a wonderful player. He always scores with his left foot from that angle. Save it. I'm not interested. Do that when you're playing in the game. That's Alex, what I'm worried about.
I always score on FIFA, but it doesn't mean to say that Arsenal's going You know what I mean?
Arsenal Scout should adapt the Moneyball strategy. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you can come and
That's a
tell me.
film, that is.
The bad contracts that we've done in recent past were star searching instead of team building. We're going to be talking about that on the User Talk on Friday. We've got Alex Stewart from The Athletic. Oh my goodness. We've got a serious guest, man, who knows his stuff. Yeah, Athletic. So make sure, guys, that you tune in this Friday, 7:30 p.m. We're going to have also James Rowe and Hotel, the original Godfather, and of course, North Bank Ninja on the User Talk. It's going to be a very, very interesting one. Ralph, I've promised the guys that we'll keep it to 1 hour. It will be just 1 hour.
Hour plus.
ASM Orba, Pepe Owa, Devaya Party, TNE Gabriel, Kante, Lamptey, Leno. What were you saying? Is this your
That's 11.
This is best 11? Okay. George Graham's first signing was Perry Groves. Yep, he isn't even remembered. I do remember him, and of course, yeah.
21, Perry Groves.
Talking about that he stopped playing Paul Davis for Richardson. Yeah, I'll tell you what, George Graham, man, we need a George Graham now. Hey, not that I'm saying Arteta out. I'm not saying Arteta out, but I wish Arteta was George Graham-esque. Just show a hard line. You've got no time for emotional attachments with these players. Stop being pally-pally. Yeah, you've got to knock heads together. Players are not performing, drop them. Yeah. Get them out. All right, so I can run through these very, very quickly. Us as a fan base need to stop being star power. Impressed when they throw a little Orba and party nuggets. We want a club that is formidable, like back in the day, isn't it, Ralph? Back in the day, man.
And the thing with the players from back in the day, they played with a sense of pride, and they earned it. They earned our respect because we know they gave everything on the pitch.
Those days, Ralph, man. God, dear.
You know what? We were very, very blessed. But those days will come back. We just need the right players to play for the shirt again.
Yeah. Arsenal needs 2 transfer windows, 3 players each window, and then all players are a year older. So may need more then. Jones, thank you for coming into Cannon 40. I think maybe you're a newbie. And that's what I'm saying with Mikel Arteta. As much as, we criticize him, we don't go over on a board above and beyond criticism there. But you've got to really base him once he's had the 2 transfer windows, and he's got the majority of his own players playing for Arsenal. That's the way I see it. But I hope it happens sooner rather than later, because we're dropping like a rock. Huh?
Time is fleeting, mate.
Yeah, and I give value to these kids we raised from the youth club to have a first team chance. Club. What's the point of having an academy if the players don't see themselves playing in the senior squad? There's no point in having an academy. Just scrap the academy. Thomas ran at the defense. He was the only one I saw who tried to take on their players. The rest had a weak mentality to the game. Thomas Partey. Is Allegri coming?
No.
No, he's not coming. He's not coming. He's coming back
to management, but he's not coming to Arsenal.
Yeah. If we had any of the top 6 owners, we'd get every single player I've named guaranteed. Without owners, we will never rebuild fully. Our new signings age by the time we sign the next batch of players. Yeah, you look at the players, 30 plus, on so much wages, and they're not producing the goods. Yeah. As a fan base, we demand so much more from the likes of Orba, who's our captain, who's our talisman. Willian is on a bunch of money. I give Thomas Partey a pass because he's injured. But these players, they're on so much money, Ralph, and they're not producing the goods. They're not doing the business. Repeating cycle with Stan, yeah. Not disagreeing, but that will not be the model under this owner and board. William is the bad business.
Yeah.
God, dearie me, man, Ralph. Oh, God. William was awful. Edel work positively. Yeah. Jobs for the boys. Partey should have gone down holding his head then. Yeah, because that's the only way that the referee would have stopped if it was a head injury per se.
Yeah. Bit of nous.
Yeah. Is Arteta coming? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good
Hopefully,
one.
we'll turn it up.
Will you take Espirito? Espirito. Again, I don't want to open that can of worms. I'm going to stick by Mikel Arteta. I don't like to see managers get sacked, Ralph.
Yeah.
Period.
And like you said before, and on countless times, as soon as you get a new manager, the idea of where we are going at this moment in time goes thrown out, and then he needs another period in time to get himself sorted, centered, see who's good, who isn't good, and we go all the way around the mulberry bush again, and then you're going to have the same situation. So stick.
How did Bellerin run past Song and not get a tackle in? He decided to slip over the useless. Well, what worries me is that he can't take a throw in. Arsenal have so many players that have to leave. The problem is nobody wants any of them. Why?
That is
because the level of wages. Not many clubs
Yeah.
in Europe have any money, especially during the pandemic. Even
Yeah.
more so when we've got players on humongous amount of money per week, Ralph.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's possible if we can take a hit, because I just rather get him out the club.
Yeah. My brother, of you get rid of these 10 players. Leno gonna have to play goalie. Went need? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But he plays goalie anyway, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. That I don't understand what you mean. Good point about top four. Mark Chandler says Xhaka is not fit in Arsenal with Ceballos. I know that. I know.
Yeah.
Ralph, Wenger had to sell his best players every season. Remember, they had a stadium to pay for at the end of the day. He found a lot of bargains for money the board gave him to spend.
Yes, but if I can answer this quickly. While I don't mind if we had to sell our players because of the stadium that we should never have gone to anyway. But that's water under the bridge now. We're there now. It was the fact that we sold our best players to our rivals. We made our rivals stronger. At that time, you ask Mourinho, Ferguson, I'm trying to think what, possibly Ranieri, if we can have their best players to swap for the players that we gave out to the top at that time the top four team, and you got a Stern, you're having a laugh. But yet we did that. We got rid of about 6-7 players to the top four.
But they were proven, Ralph, but they were proven right because they left Arsenal thinking there are better gains to be had in a different club. I talk about RVP. He left and he was proven right because he won the Premier League with Man United.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We had the best players. We kept faith with them, but because we moved to a stadium and we had to find this money, which I'm still struggling with the fact that, is it paid off? Are we in profit or are we in deficit or whatever it is? But we got rid of our best players, and then they went on to win stuff. They went on to win the stuff that we wanted to win. That's the whole point of you moving to a big stadium, because you want to win stuff. and yet we gave it away to our competitors. We gave it away to Man City. We gave it away to Chelsea. We gave it away to Man United. We gave it away to Liverpool. And all right, so we gave it away to those teams. How about if those teams would give us back their best youngsters?
Never.
We can win stuff.
They would never do that. They would never do that.
So, boy.
Mishani says Arteta going nowhere. Fabrizio is close to Edu and said yesterday or today, board has faith in Arteta and he is there for a long term. Which is right. Is right. You can't be chopping and changing managers hoping for instant success. It doesn't happen like that. Look at Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. They stuck by him, and look at him, he's flying now, isn't he? We got Beer Donkeys, man. Bedouin, Shaka, Mustafi, Holding, Kolasinac, Louise. Too much rubbish, Dara Roth says. Last few guys before I wrap up this one. So true, Shaka, time's up. Been here way too long, probably 5 years or more. Enough is enough. And I'm going to put this person in timeout because I'm not sure. I don't like what he just said there. Guys, like I say, if you're being rude and using foul language, I'll put you in a timeout. Or better still, I'll block you forever. I'm not going to have that kind of comments in the live chat there. Yo! Jaden says, do you remember me? I was the guy that watched your channel at school. I do remember. Yeah. Preview.
How's he doing?
Yeah, Jaden, how you doing, man? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Of course I remember. I do remember. I thought, oh, no, Jaden's back. Thank you for the 115 Gooners. Actually, it was a lot more than that. I saw almost 140 odd for choosing to spend your time here on Canon 4 TV. Thank you for that. Ora Donkey says, good show, Alex. Thank you for that. Not only me, but my brother as well, who's also my co-host. But anyway, moving on.
Thank you.
Do you think Auba has gone downhill because of his new contract, Ralph?
I think it's a accumulation, because these things also have a tendency to build up. Because I think he really did want to move at the end of last season, and he successfully pretty much kept us in the Premiership. So maybe it might be a kick on. He's probably thinking, you know what? Now I'm gonna stand back. Let's see, who else is gonna come up. But the thing with being a captain is that your responsibility is to show up every week, regardless. And if you're not showing up every week, if your body language is negative, if you're not barking orders, if you're not the focal point of your manager's actions, this is the result of what you're doing. And you're not only just doing that to yourself, you're doing it to the other team members, and other team members probably think, well, if my captain can act that way, then I can do that, because the manager has not benched him. The manager is his best friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Kennedy says, our team, the way they're playing like is lost sheep. We need big changes and no game plan, no concentration. And Monty's just saying, remind everyone, thank you to our 9,780 subscribers. Right, that could never be accounted for. Actually, I've just been checking. It's 9,785. So just like the little digits are changing there. This is the right time to part ways with Arteta before we get relegated from Premier League. What are you awaiting? Time to act. Arteta has failed us. Time is running out. Please, Ralph.
Okay, so as I said at the start, I'm not Arteta out straight away. Arteta puts out the players, and as we mentioned earlier in this segment, if he's putting players that are not performing, then that's on him. The flip side of that is if the manager is putting his faith in the player, and the player's got to show up. If the player can't show up because he's not tactically aware, he's not competent, he's not confident, he's got a loss of form, then it's down for the manager to drop that player, because that breeds like a virus. And at this moment in time, this team is not even in lockdown. No one has put them and given them any kind of vaccine to say, hey, here's a shot of confidence. It may show itself in the Europa, but the here and now in the Premiership is where your future is based on. And at this moment in time, we are 15th. So, yeah, there you have it in an eggshell.
Yeah, guys, I think we're going to call this one to an end. It's quite interesting. I would love to go on for another half an hour, but I guess my brother's got other more important things to be doing rather than being on a podcast on Canon 4 TV. And not that, we have enjoyed you joining with us, even more so in the live chat. I've just seen some other real interesting debates happen in the live chat, but there's only so much time that I can go on Canon 4 TV We've been going for an hour and 25 minutes. Before we go, I did put out a post yesterday in regards to Martinelli. And the poll question was, would you like to see Martinelli come back sooner? Choose only one option. So the options were, of course, yes and no, and the third one was can't decide. Ralph, listen to the results. So 8% of you said no, you don't want to see Martinelli come back yet. 2% said can't decide, and 90% of you said you want to see Martinelli come back right here, right now. 90%, and there were 180 votes on that poll there, Ralph. What say you? Oh, goodness.
It's saying, okay, the captain needs to sit down. Captain needs to sit down. Lacazette needs to sit down, because as we were saying that we have to trust in the youngsters. If he's ready, I don't want him to come in. Actually, I think it's going to be a bit too soon. But if he feels ready, and if the coaching team, I don't have any faith in the coaching team, because they're the same coaching team that let David Luiz play on. If he's ready and we have to introduce him slowly, the only thing is it's a pressure environment now.
Yeah.
It's a pressure environment. We have to start performing, and that could go one or two ways. Now, so far, Arteta has put hedges bets on Partey. Look what happened to Partey. On David Luiz, look what happened to David Luiz. You know, it could be a 3-strike and we're out. So I'd be happy for him to just come in, maybe just come in a first half, to do a half, or to do a little bit, get him in gradual, but not straight into the deep, because it'd be too much for him, I feel.
Completely agree. Well, listen, guys, we're done and dusted. I've just been checking the stats there, the analytics. It tells me that we've just had just under 2,000 viewers for this live segment on a Wednesday evening. So thank you to each and every one of you. Concurrently, I saw it's like 140 odd watching at any one time. So really, really do appreciate that. Again, I've just been watching the comments in the live chat. Really, really interesting stuff there. Ralph, thanks for joining me on this Wednesday night live show. It's been a pleasure.
If I say one thing, I was going to say one thing. The guys who are missing out because they're putting their comments today, put it for tomorrow, because actually do his segment again for tomorrow, and even better still, get it in for Friday, because Friday is going to be a firecracker, I feel.
Yeah, there you go. There's a last comment that someone's put here, but I'm not even going to entertain that debate now. I'm not going to go there with this person there. So we are done and dusted. I'll be back tomorrow morning, giving you some more live news on Canal 4 TV. In the meanwhile, make sure you subscribe to Canal 4 TV. Hit the bell notification button so you can receive all the latest news right here on Canal 4 TV. Again, I can see people coming in. Actually, you know what? It's only right if I just quickly mention Monty's channel. Monty, our moderator, is doing wonderful stuff. So, guys, if you're wondering who's put this link in the live chat, he's our moderator. So we've given him the green light to put in the link for his channel whenever he wants to. Okay, so don't be complaining about that. But Monty, your man, and energy, we need to see him back in the first team. We've got to see him back. He hasn't done anything wrong, in my eyes, not to be dropped. He should be playing. And he finally says, thank you, you Gooners. Thank you very much for that. So I shall see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. UK time for some more live action and news. And meanwhile, make sure you subscribe, and also check out Ralph's segment, The Voice of Reason, which was released earlier on today. So check it out on the platform. Until then, if at all you've been wondering who or what you've been watching, well, you've been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over